There's a classic movie called The Blues Brothers. It's all about getting the band back together after years apart. And so the band leaders, Jake and Elwood, are trying to find the rest of the people in the band, and they know that two of them are working in a restaurant. So they go into the restaurant, and the band members are working in the kitchen. So they put in their orders, and Elwood orders 2 pieces of plain white toast with nothing on them, and Jake orders 4 fried chickens and a Coke. Now those are unusual orders. So as soon as the people in the kitchen hear those weird orders, they immediately realize who's there and go out and greet them. And this is not because the orders were weird, but because they knew Jake and Elwood really well from having spent years with them. Well, something similar is going on here in today's 5-minute devotional in John chapter 21. And let's read verses 1 through 14. After these things, Jesus revealed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. And he had revealed himself in this way. Simon Peter, Thomas who is called Didymus, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples were together. Simon Peter said to them, "I'm going fishing." They said to him, "We are also coming with you." They went out and got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing. But when the day was now breaking, Jesus stood on the beach. Yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. So Jesus said to them, "Children, do you not have any fish to eat, do you?" They answered him, "No." And he said to them, "Cast the net on the right-hand side of the boat, and you will find the fish." So they cast it, and then they were not able to haul it in because of the great quantity of fish. Therefore, that disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." So when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he was stripped for work, and threw himself into the sea. But the other disciples came in the little boat, for they were not far from the land, but about 200 cubits away, dragging the net full of fish. So when they got out on the land, they saw the charcoal fire already made, and fish placed on it, and bread. And Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish which you have now caught." So Simon Peter went up and hauled the net to land, full of large fish, 153. And although there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." None of the disciples ventured to inquire of him, "Who are you?" knowing that it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and the fish likewise. This was now the 3rd time that Jesus revealed himself to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. So how does this relate to that story I told you from the Blues Brothers? Well, so Peter and a bunch of other disciples are going fishing, and they don't catch anything. And somebody from the shore, it's too dark for them to make out who it is, somebody from the shore calls out, "Hey, cast your net on the right-hand side of the boat, and you'll get some fish." Does that sound familiar? Well, maybe it does, because that's how they first started to follow Jesus. That was something that happened in the very beginning of the Gospels, the beginning of their time as disciples, that Jesus helped them with this huge haul of fish with very similar words. And so just like plain white bread or 4 fried chickens and a Coke, this was such a particular thing for Jesus to say, to echo back. It was because they knew him and were with him for so long that they realized instantly, "Oh my gosh, it's Jesus." And that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's something that can even be for us today, of walking with Jesus for a long time, walking with God for a long time. You get to know what he's like. And when he does stuff, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's just like Jesus." That's a beautiful thing. And there's something else here. It's going to relate to what comes next. And that's the opportunity for a fresh start. Jesus is referencing by his very actions with the fish the start of these disciples, especially Peter's, walk with him and walk as a disciple. And he's mimicking the start of it, because in the next section, Jesus is going to give Peter a new start. If you might remember, Peter screwed up kind of big time by denying Jesus and stuff like that. And Jesus is sort of in this action signaling, hey, remember when you first followed me? It can be just like first following me again. But we'll see that next time.